Welcome. We're doing our TA Leader Series where we talk to some of the top people in TA about video, about how they use it, what strengths they see, and really get some insights into how some of the really innovative people are making good use of this medium. Today, we are thrilled to have Virginia Aylesworth join us. Virginia is an experienced global TA leader. She has experience in Fortune 500 in retail, marketing, and supply chain, and brings just incredible insight into using video. She's been a big advocate of video, a big early adopter of video, and we're thrilled to have her. So welcome, Virginia. It's nice to have you today.
Thanks, Maury. This is such a pleasure, and certainly, a topic that I'm passionate about. So thank you for including me.
Okay. So let me just start with sort of the generals. Why does video matter? Why have you been a big proponent of video?
Well, first of all, this generation that we're recruiting, this next generation, is all about video. They're not reading job descriptions. They're not, the way they communicate is video. This is how we can reach the audience that we're after. And in some of my previous roles, we had a lot of fun really taking our employment brand, sharing our associates' voices, sharing about, the importance of, the value proposition that we had at our company and some of the shared values, and really also being able to use video to share about the job. So really highlighting some of our employees to share what they do, telling that, putting it on job descriptions, putting it in different various avenues and touch points to attract talent.
And how did you get employees to make videos? We hear a lot, our employees are reluctant, they're shy, they're not kind of outgoing types. How did you kind of work with that?
We put together some really great communication templates and really thoughtfully thought through, maybe where their concerns were, and that, if they weren't comfortable, they can re-record or they can, bow out at any time. So very low pressure, but that we felt confident in, that they had a story to tell and really try to make it easy. So a lot of times the barrier is technology, and we were able to really, keep it very simple and make it very seamless and very easy, and always very a way for the associate to feel comfortable and not feel that if they didn't like it, they didn't have to use it or submit it. So.
And clearly, we've seen some of the videos that you've produced, and I think one of the things that really mark them is they're authentic. You didn't overscript people. And I think that's really important. When someone feels like they've got to deliver a script, they're not prepared to do that, and it feels phony to them. So that authenticity is really letting them tell their own story in their own words.
Yes.
Is huge. We see way too many people say, oh, you've got to hit these 3 pillars of our EVP and you've got to use these phrases. And that's not natural to them. So it makes them nervous, and it makes it hard to do. So letting them just talk is really what makes it valuable. So that's phenomenal.
Yeah. And sometimes what we would do is we did have questions. So we had a library of questions, and that if they needed something to just prompt them, that, allowed them to have some bit of framework, but it was allowing their responses to be very authentic.
Yeah. The worst thing is when you ask them to read a script.
Yes. That doesn't work.
Absolutely deadly. So anyways, how did you know video was working? How did you know it was a good investment of time and energy? What kind of feedback, either metrics you looked at or even some of the anecdotal things that you heard?
Yeah, so we had dashboards, and we were able to measure, the click-throughs, the response of some of the videos. So we were able to really kind of see which ones were really favorable, which ones were getting some nice response on our social channels. And of course, thing that we kept a close eye on during our peak season holiday, we were able to look at those videos and see which ones were really, getting a favorable response. And we feel that it was a huge help in pushing our hiring during that critical time.
And we're all about the metrics and the numbers. I'm a numbers nut. But some of the fun stories we hear back is when somebody walks into an interview and says, "Hey, I saw this video, and I wouldn't have considered you guys, except I thought that was really cool." Sometimes those, sort of personal anecdotes can also just give you a lot of cool feedback.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, in terms of the number of videos, we see this all over the board. Some people do their one hero video, their 2-minute video. That I'll admit we're not big fans of, where the drone shot comes in and does the headquarters building. But we see clients with hundreds of videos. How do you size that? How many videos do you think a company would need in their video library? Or what kinds of things would you decide, oh, we need another video for that? How do you kind of decide to size this?
Yeah, no, great question. So I think keeping content fresh is important, especially if your employment brand, just being on message. And so it's an interesting question. I think we were always continuing to build videos and continuing to kind of go to the next area where we wanted to highlight, whether it was diversity, equity, and inclusion, highlighting our culture, onboarding. There's just so many facets that you can use video. We started to even dabble video with training, which was, a lot of fun. And some of our different areas in different departments in our HR team was very interested in how we were using that. So to answer your question, I think you definitely have to keep a library. You need to keep it fresh. And there's going to be ones that aren't getting the response that you need. And, you need to look at the metrics and then sunset those videos that really are probably not, really doing much for you, and keeping that library pretty fresh and clean.
And you mentioned earlier, you referenced the idea of using video for training. Because it was just faster to update than a training manual. Do you want to just expand on that a little bit? So how are you doing that?
Yeah, so we were just finding, we implemented an ATS system, and we were having to keep our training guides up to date. And that became just such a big work stream for the team. And just, and certainly our training and leadership, learning and development team couldn't keep up with it too. So we started looking at video as a way to quickly communicate to large audiences and letting them know, updates that we were making, changes, and that we feel was a great way and easier for the user to really adopt, the slight changes we needed to make. Because I think at the end of the day, they don't want to go through pages of manuals or guides. They don't want that. They want quick videos, and I don't know, Maury, if you're like this, but when I'm, needing help with something, especially if it's like building something or some sort of technology issue where I'm stuck, I'm always, going to YouTube and having somebody instruct me how to do it. And so really taking that method, and using it just proved to be really fruitful.
And it's so helpful, particularly if you're implementing, say, something new on an ATS, just say, go on the screen here, click here. It's so much easier than going, find this menu, pull this down, go to, yes, when you can show people and tell people at the same time, the learning is just so much faster and so much better. There's so many uses of video. The questions come to me, how many videos do you need in your video library? It's like, how many points of communication do you want? How many emails do you need in an organization? So the number really gets to be that big. So wonderful. Virginia, I could talk to you all day, but I want to be respectful of your time because I know you're busy. Thank you for the insights. This has been really helpful. And I think it's going to be really valuable to people to watch this and get a different perspective and a different view on this. So thank you for joining us, and we'll hope we'll be back in touch soon.
Great. Thanks, Maury. It's been a pleasure.